Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Euroman Movie Report, the show where I talk about a movie I've recently watched at my local movie theatre. This week I'm going to talk about Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is of course the sequel to the 2016 hit Deadpool, starring Ryan Reynolds. And you people here of course remember that Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool back in Wolverine X-Men Origins, one of the worst Marvel movies of all time, and the story was, before he was able to do Deadpool 2016 version, that he tried for years to get a real Deadpool movie in the works, but I don't remember if that was this guy, maybe Tim Rothman or a CEO at Fox Pictures previously, who ruined the adaptation of Deadpool in X-Men Wolverine's Origins, and and the rest is history. So Ryan Reynolds, he persuaded the new heads of Fox, 20th Century Fox Pictures, to do this new, more better adaptation of Deadpool, which is closer to the comic version. And it was a smash hit. And the story was, of course, that Wade Wilson, played by Deadpool, he's a mercenary. He hooks up with this very hot woman, Vanessa, played by what's her name? Morena Baccarin, or something like that. And then he gets cancer, gets approached by these shady characters who offers to help him cure his cancer, but then it turns him into a mutant of some sort, because the drugs they give him incredible healing abilities, so he cannot die. And now we have a sequel to this movie, Deadpool, and is was referred to in some of the marketing material with Deadpool: The Second Coming, and they even in my local theatre was this funny standee of Deadpool and the characters from this movie eating Thanksgiving dinner, and there was a text beneath that was supposed to be a picture, and it said "The Second Coming." So anyway, this movie, Wade Wilson and Vanessa, still played by the same actor, Ryan Reynolds, and Vanessa played by the actress whose name I'm not very good at pronouncing. And they are still very much in love, and they want to start a family, and Wade Wilson, he's still, as Deadpool, contracts as a mercenary, but then the bad guys show up at their apartment and Vanessa dies. And then Wade Wilson, Deadpool, struck with grief, tries to kill himself by blowing himself up. He lies on these cans of gasoline, and then kabooey! But as we know from the previous film, Deadpool, Wade Wilson, cannot die. So then Colossus, that big Russian metal X-Men, comes into the picture. And he asks Deadpool to become an X-Men trainee. And then he is transported to the Xavier Mansion. And and there comes the funny part, because in the first Deadpool 2016, Wade Wilson, Deadpool joked why there weren't any of the other X-Men at the mansion. Maybe that the film production company couldn't afford them. But then there's a short scene where we see the characters from the rebooted X-Men cast, James McAvoy and the gang. Just need to look them up here. Nicholas Hoult as Beast, and Evan Peters as Quicksilver, and so on. So there's a small cameo by the X-Men cast, not Patrick Stewart, but the first cast. And then after that happens, they are sent to Essex Institute or something like that. I don't remember the exact name. which is an orphanage for mutant kids. And there's this mutant kid, Fire Fist, played by, what was his name? Just need to look him up again. Yeah, one moment. Julian Dennison. I haven't seen the kid before, but he's very angry. And then, excuse me, Deadpool, he talks him down, and there's hilarity, and then Deadpool and and the kid are sent to a mutant prison called Freezer, and they are even fitted with the mutant restraint collars, which we have seen in the animated movies, the comics, and if I remember correctly, they were shown in Days of Futures Past as well. And some time passes at that mutant jail, and and so on and so on. Meanwhile, this cyber soldier from the future, Cable, played by Josh Brolin, arrives in Deadpool's timeline, and he wants to kill the kid, which Deadpool, Wade Wilson, is protecting, and we later on in the movie gets to know why, because the kid, he supposedly in the future becomes evil, and so on and so on, and there's a lot of hilarity and CGI fights, and Ryan Reynolds, he of course does his thing, and Josh Brolin, he's good, and there's even a Thanos reference, and that's of course funny because in the MCU, Josh Brolin plays Thanos, the movie itself, of course, it isn't as raunchy as the first Deadpool was, but it's still extremely funny, and I enjoy the actors, Ryan Reynolds, the chick who plays Vanessa, the guy who voices Colossus, and there's the other one, what was her name from the previous film? The actress is called Brianna Hildebrand, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She returns, of course, and she has a girlfriend, a fast-talking young lady, and what was her name? We can find her on Yukio, played by some sort of Asian actress, Shiuro Kutsuna, and there's also Return by Blind Owl from the previous film, and we get to see the Juggernaut. And we haven't seen the Juggernaut in the X-Men movies for a long time. The Juggernaut, the giant man who can crash through walls and so on and so on. He was originally played by Winnie Jones, the footballer, in the Patrick Stewart X-Men movies, but he's CGI now and voiced by some guy who I'm unfamiliar with, but it was fun to see the Juggernaut in an X-Men universe movie. So and there's a funny after the credits scene, and the scene is of course spoiled on Wikipedia, and basically it is that Cable is a time traveler, so they after the event of the movie ends, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio, they fix his time travel device, and then Deadpool goes back in time, firstly to save Vanessa, and then to save the guy Peter, who you of course have seen in the trailers, but mostly he goes back to the set of X-Men Wolverine Origins and kills the horrible adaptation of Deadpool, which of course Ryan Reynolds himself starred in, and to top it off, he goes back even further. runs into Ryan Reynolds after he has gotten the script for the DC movie Green Lantern and kills Ryan Reynolds. So that's truly funny in my opinion. So all in all, the movie itself is directed by one of the guys who wrote John Wick, and there's even a funny reference to it, to that fact in the opening credits. So it isn't as raunchy as the previous Deadpool, but still great, and the acting is great. It's a great action comedy, and for those who love the Marvel properties, they will enjoy. And I'm talking about the Marvel comics, not the MCU movies. They will enjoy Deadpool 2, because unlike the MCU movies, Deadpool 2 is of course R-rated. But I enjoyed it. There weren't any Stan Lee cameo in this film. There was in the previous Deadpool, but not in this film. So it's enjoyable, great acting, good fights, and the movie even has a heart. So all in all, if I will rate it, which I'm gonna do, I will give it 4 out of 5 stars. That's it, your main of Your Man's Movie Report. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you like this movie talk / movie review, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch my previous reviews / movie talks, you can click a link in the description, as always. Next week, I will return with another movie review / movie talk, this time of Han Solo. But until then, have a pleasant weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.